Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at some excerpts from episode 4 of Street Dance Girl Fighters season 1. If you are wanting to get in on the action on full episode reactions, I have that on Patreon. So what you're going to be seeing are excerpts from when I did that reaction to the entire thing, and there's a chance that some of my feedback is tailored towards other elements that I had already seen previously from the episode, so just kind of keep that in mind whenever I do go over the analysis. But I hope you guys enjoy, and let's check it out. This is a great build up. A little bit of house in there. This is very clean.
Like a boom, 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 boom.
I really like that build on. It's cool.
Like a boom, 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 boom.
The track really helps though. I will say, like, that track is sick. So I really liked this one, but I really feel like there was a couple of moments that felt very disconnected, and hopefully as we walk through this one, I'll be able to like really pinpoint what that was. My initial thing though is with the jacket situation. I really wish that one of them wore two. Yeah, that they wore two jackets, because she was never in the center after that jacket was taken off. So it was very obviously, it just felt very misplaced and it didn't feel balanced anymore after that point. And what they did with the jacket didn't feel justified enough for that type of result, if that makes sense. So in this beginning, even notice, like, I feel 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and yeah, that 8 and that wasn't crisp. It was like 80 and it didn't feel like everybody was on the same page from the first. Like, this was fine, but when they brought those arms in, it wasn't quite as clean as I feel like it needed to be here. And being very honest, it feels very much like how Hook felt about the interim check. You may still see symptoms of that here with Miss Molly. Miss Molly, they have that old school wittiness, but here it felt like they're playing a character, but it's a character that they normally don't play, and you can tell is really what it feels like, because the essence isn't there, and you can tell that this is their playing field. So it's just one of those things here. The energy there, it's really nice, but also their arms, there's a timing issue that we're seeing with all of this. The energy, how she's popping off here, I don't know quite what she's doing technically there, but I really like that they're trying to recognize that energy or that part of the music. Yeah, really great way to present as a feature right before everybody joins back in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it was nice with the camera to zoom in to have a new feature there. I do feel that this breakdown, it's not, I mean, it feels like it's maintaining, but it's not taking us or skyrocketing us anywhere. It really feels like they just kind of held their own until H went on, and then they bumped up the energy with the aesthetic of this style. So that would be my big note here. The farmer, no, that's a house step. Her feet, she's not quite picking them up as much as everybody else is, which is interesting because she's one of the taller members. So if anything, you should really be seeing her range a lot more profound, but hers looks a bit more marked. Love the usage of the levels. They are doing a lot of cuts in this though, to where I can't see the full picture as well. But I do like the level shifts here. That's really fun. Yeah, even just the features with the wave, I feel like even there, we kind of just ignored the music for a second just to really just showcase that. And it just kind of held us there, and then they pulled us back in versus really seeing this moment and then exploding out of it. I think that's just my overall note. It really just feels like choreography that they're doing, and it's so unfortunate to say that. I really do I like all these groups. I do. And I'm very happy that I'm watching this, and it's really fun to see. And it is unfortunate we're going to be losing some members or these groups, but I'm very much a fan of just the work ethic that all of them have. I do think it is a bit unfortunate that we're not seeing a lot of it. I mean, they're very clean. Definitely they're clean, but there are still some range issues that we're seeing. That essence is not helping combat, you know. So it was nice having that moment, but it was still just slight range issues, you know. But it's nothing crazy. This was a great moment there. As they melt down, that was fun, but notice with that bun, da-da-dun, da-da-dun, like there wasn't any pizzazz, anything outside of just doing the move with more of a fierce look. And I think that was some of those moves. It didn't quite translate as well as I think it needed to be. Now look with Hook, goodness. With H, notice the energy completely shifted. Now, whenever you notice the double head roll, that immediately reminds me of Megaverse from Stray Kids. They have a certain part in their chorus that I wish they hit the same range on, because it would have looked freaking sick. But the take that I analyzed, they did not hit it quite the way it needed to. I may take a second look at that one just on my own time, just to really analyze it. I may learn it, honestly, just to see and empathize with what they may be feeling, to maybe have a nicer perspective on that particular one, because I wasn't the kindest to that particular analysis. But that energy, you notice the energy just completely elevated, but they have 2 to 3 less people. Yeah, like the energy, how they're holding themselves, you just boom, boom. You can see that they're using their whole back. They're not just doing the movements. They're doing the movements because their body is fluent in understanding the range that they need to go to be justified on the type of track or type of layer that they're supposed to go on. So, and that's just, you can tell by that. I love that boom, boom with a little bit of step influence here. Notice the energy is built even more. Da, 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 da. Right here over into the diagonals, really fun that they had a moment. Notice they use their hip, not just the leg. They're using other parts of their body to help complement the extremities, which is something that I feel like Miss Molly did not do here. They did the movements, but they had no essence within them on the type of track it was and the context of how they were supposed to justify it, if that makes sense. But here, you can really see the energy is elevated. And I love the energy of how they're dropping. Da 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 da. I will say, just being mindful. They should have. One of them dropped significantly lower than the other, so I would just make sure they were kind of in check there of how they needed to come across, bringing it down. I love that da 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 da. So they really know how to take their energy, speed change it to get them into a next groove to match the energy of the track and the phrasing. Really nice on the chicken heads. They did it in a really fun way. And it's also called the monastery. So that was fun. I see a lot of fundamentals in play, which I really like. I just feel like they're not, it's not that they're combative, but it just feels like a lot of them don't quite have the right texture on them for them to be enmeshed within the track as effectively as they could. So I think this ripple was actually a little off here. Yeah, so if you look, she went up earlier, she went up late. So it was supposed to go from here and travel it, but it ended up going here, here, and then back to here. So we're gonna actually see if they show that again, but anyway, yeah, so that just wasn't quite as clean as it needed to be, but I understand what they're going for. This energy right here, I understand that they're trying to do a 2-tier level where you have your upper and then your lower, but the upper, I think, either went a little too low or my low didn't go low enough. And the movement is really simple and bleeding up through 2/8 counts, which I feel like that can cost you if you're too simple. The going down and out, pop through. Now we should be expecting, because this is a build up ready to pop off, what do? That right there is another example of whenever they did it during the interim, it was really captivating. Here it didn't captivate me as much, and I think it's because of the timing was off with some of them. She hit on the first. I think they were supposed to go, but she was late. So I think it's supposed to go on the boom, 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 boom. So she's 1. They go on 2, 3, 4, and then yeah. So it's supposed to go on the boom, 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 boom because there's 4 of them, but she was late. So it's, yeah, so that's a bit unfortunate. I really feel like that would have popped off a lot more. Oh, another side note. Notice the height. I think height played a role here. We have somebody that's more petite than whoever's in center, and I think that also made it appear a little bit off. And that's why symmetry matters, and that's why sometimes height matters, because it can give the appearance that you're not, like some people are going lower, even though it's simply a height thing. So that's why you have to be very mindful of where you place height sometimes, especially when you're trying to go for symmetry. Little details like that can really enhance the overall look and feel of a routine. It's simply where you place people based on height. And that's why I tell a lot of dancers, don't assume that if I put you in the back corner, it's because you're not good. I very rarely put people in positions based on competence. I do it based off of height, symmetry, their traffic pattern, their transitions of where they were from the time before, as well as their skill set. Meaning if I know that I need a group of 5 that is really proficient at setting the tone for whacking, and they're really good at whacking and, let's say, house, I'm going to need to set them up wherever it's going to be most successful to reveal a particular visual that I need them there for because of their height, what they're wearing, costuming, if it's a color costume situation, because that kind of stuff matters, because I talked about, which we're about to see with the jacket, those types of things really can affect the overall look of your routine. I'm very much a team player of everybody in the group has to hold their own weight. And what's nice is over the years, because I've stood my ground on that and I followed through with that, and I don't placate this favoritism, putting the same person in the front situation. I really don't do that, because for me, I feel like as a teacher, it's my responsibility to make sure that I'm growing my own dancers the way that they need to. They need to be set up for success, and it's not a competition. At least in my case, a lot of my dancers are in competition, but some of them are. Very different story. But here we know it's a competition. So you being mindful of height can really help in these cases. All that to say, it's sometimes it's that simple to how to make a routine look cleaner. It's just simple positioning of your people. They bled it in, they folded it out. So watch. Yeah, so it's boom, 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 boom. I don't know if they were trying to do a sporadic one or if they're supposed to go a boom, 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 boom. It didn't connect. Also, the head was slightly off with one of our dancers there. It didn't translate as well as I wanted it to, and I'm slightly disappointed in that, because I understand the energy. The energy looks great. The buildup was cool. It was off. It was just off. but I love doon 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 doon. The energy though is really cool. They are starting to build it back and bring it back up. Having a little moment in the center. They are cutting a lot more in that center versus seeing that full cut with everybody. The pull in was really fun. The energy was nice. Having the jacket. Here is my concern here. So if you notice, she obviously doesn't have her jacket. They took it off. All she does is jump over it. She doesn't even touch it. You know, it could be this, that, or the other. They hop over it. Then they pull it. What they should have done is the girl who had the jacket, she should have gotten that jacket back. Or she should have had a second jacket underneath. I know that sounds tedious, but those little details, it makes it even more of a surprise. If you're like, whoa, where did that jacket come from? You know, because now it's hanging out over here, not on her, and now she's naturally featured, regardless if she wants to be or not. So that was quite that wasn't the smartest choice. I love that up and down and a nice little, I think it's a little Scooby-Doo that they were doing. Great locking variations here, which is fun. And having that nice little moment, there was another moment. There's a jacket on the floor. Now it's a safety hazard. Technically, in some competitions, they do give deductions for whenever there's props or things on the ground because it is a safety hazard. If somebody trips on it, you know, you can get hurt. So some competitions are that tedious. I mean, here, of course, it's not the case, but it's a subconscious distraction, and look, it's affecting the overall cleanliness and aesthetic of the routine. And look here, she's naturally featured, not in the center. If she was in the center, it'd be a little different, but she's not in the center at all for any of these. And that was nice having that moment, that punch down. They're all dropping down, punching out. I will say that a very simple fix, she should have moved right here. They should have switched places. That would have solved most of those issues and it wouldn't be a problem. And I said the same thing. It was about, oh my gosh, it was Proud Mons. It was B2B Muse of Street Man Fighter. They were with a couple members of Proud Mon. It was Lip J and Monica. I remember this because I said the same thing about Lip J's outfit. I said the same thing. Okay. It's just because it just didn't translate as well as they needed to be. So they actually went from locking into a little bit of light feet, which I found was interesting because there wasn't a lot of power in that lock-in and how they chose to finish it. So I would say that would be my overall note. It's either they needed to add a lot more suspension or projection into that final lock-in before they drop down, or they should have changed that move entirely because I don't feel like they justified light feet's essence because of the execution of that unison lock-in. Yeah, da-da-da-da-da, and push back. Also, look, she's still not symmetrical. So, overall, I feel like some of the problems that Hook was starting to see still kind of exist with Miss Molly in this very specific challenge. I love watching them when they're in their element, when they're, like, their audition, I freaking loved. How I think this would score, I have a feeling like I would probably have to put it in the 250s, 260s, I think. It wasn't super low because they were cleaner than some of the other groups because remember, I don't have the criteria in front of me, so I can't be objective about it as much as I would want to. But if we're stacking it up against kind of how they've been scoring the other routines, I would say in the 250s, 260s would be pretty safe. I don't think it's in the 270s because of a lot of the things that I noticed. There were just a lot of things not thought through 100%, and I feel like that would have really helped them if they thought through the logistics of the jacket, or when Miss Molly was able to, they refined their concept to where Miss Molly could represent with their wittiness a little bit more, because it really felt like this was H's set that Miss Molly was cosplaying or playing a character for, is what it came across as. But I'm hopeful. I'm gonna be honest, H, it makes sense why a lot of people like H because they were wonderful. Their essence here was second to none. Like, they really elevated the aesthetic of the track entirely, and it caught me off guard a little bit. So that just shows you their ability to project, and their stage presence is just phenomenal. So I'm definitely intrigued on how the scoring for this one's gonna go, and we're gonna find out pretty soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Street Dance Girl Fighter content, Street Fighter content in general, K-pop dance content, things of the like, I have that not only on YouTube, but I have so much of it that is early release or exclusive to Patreon, whether that's copyright or very special incentives for Patreon, like bonus clips that we take a look at and react to, things like that. So if that's something that intrigues you, you can head over there and check it out. But if you're okay with just seeing what I post on YouTube daily, I'm really excited for that opportunity to be able to discuss that with you both either on Patreon or on YouTube. So I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye!